Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Janar Novitsky and here's my review of KTM Myroon Prestige. So yeah, I bought my wife a new bike yesterday and I took it for the ride for the first time. The great thing with me and my wife is that we're not so different age, so we can use both M-size bikes, but of course our weight difference is quite big, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, the bike has full XTR group set. It has a lot of carbon parts. It has very good front suspension, Fox 32 factory float, which is similar to my full suspension bike, with an only difference that it has 10 millimeters of less travel. The bike itself is very light, slightly under 9 kilos, without pedals. So yeah, this is my first time ever riding KTM bike, so I really didn't know what to expect, but I can already spoil it that I was very positively surprised. When I took it out for a ride, what I realized was that it has a much narrower handlebar than I'm used to, 720 I think, and my old hardtail had 800 millimeters, which is great if you want to ride this kind of segments where you really have to maneuver around trees. Also what I found was that the bike was stiff, light and very responsive. As I started the segment, I accelerated quickly to the speed. I took D3 segments. The first one that you see now was mostly, it was slightly downhill with a lot of cornering. I started a little bit more carefully, maybe on a 90%, but I kept on adding speed as I realized that my tires and suspension, it's holding very well in corners, and I was really positively surprised about the tires. The front tire that this bike is running is Schwalbe Racing Ray. I didn't have any knowledge or experience about these tires, but it was very grippy in this kind of corners, and I didn't have any slipping at all, even though I really was trying to push the limits. The rear tire was Thunder Burt, which is very fast tire. And yeah, the great thing was that it's actually pretty good for climbing, because yeah, I thought that in this final section that was the most hilly, it will lose a little bit traction here and there, but it held up very well. So yeah, in this kind of segments, one of the key things is how much speed you can carry out of the corners. Then on the second segment that it's now showing, there are slight hills, so you need to have strength in your legs to go up fast in the hills, and also when you go down there are these corners, and again it's about carrying the speed. But then I went to the third segment. First of all, I need to say that on the first segment, the road, it's approximately 2 minutes segment, fast rolling and mostly cornering. I was only 1 second shy of my personal best. The second one didn't go so well, but it was still good, and now here I am starting to attack the last one, and this was the most hilly. So basically the elevation difference is not big. It's just something like 5 to 7 meters up and down that you have to climb for 5 times, and you have to go downhill 5 times approximately. So it's a lot of hard work, and you really get your heart rate up. And yes, this bike climbed very well, and I expected it to be a little bit more unstable in those technical downhills, but it was surprisingly good. I managed to brake well, and I managed to corner well, and for me it was just a great surprise. As a reward, I got, for the first time ever riding in this segment, in this bike, I got my personal best by 8 seconds. So this is a top 10 time time of this year, and it's very popular segment among a lot of strong riders, so I'm really satisfied with the result. And I think a little bit more trying with this bike and maybe wiping off the acorns in this critical corners, I could perhaps get the top 3 time even. But yeah, that was my review about this bike. I know a lot of people know bikes like Scott Scale RC World Cup or S-Works Epic Hardtail, but yeah, in this KTM what I found, you can actually get with a much better price the same fast or perhaps even faster bike, which is very surprising for me. And now in autumn it's good time to buy a new bike. What I mean by buying a second-hand bike, so you might get a really good bike for a reasonable price that doesn't break the bank. So yeah, that was my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you again soon.